Hello and welcome to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. While a team braves the cold of Ladakh, research community gathers together to pay homage to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. We'll get you all the details. Let us take a look at the headlines. Does Ladakh resemble Mars? Scientists set out to explore. India and Antarctica were once together, says novel evidence. First Dr. APJ Kalam Memorial Lecture, focus on Industry Academy equilibria. And in our In Focus segment today, we will explore the interesting aspects of science in sports. And now the news in detail. As researchers around the world ponder over the possibility of life on Mars, a team of researchers will brave the extreme climate and terrain of Ladakh to learn how some organisms survive in such risky conditions. The exploration with 32 selected researchers across the world has been initiated as part of the NASA Spaceward Bound program, an educational venture being organized by the NASA AMS Research and the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, Lucknow. The team will undertake astrobiological studies on the cold terrains of Ladakh to deduce the possibility of life on Mars. Let us see this report.
Located about 3,000 meters above sea level is the uninhabited, pristine ecosystem of Ladakh, the land of high passes. This land of extremes, including varying features from cold high desert soils to hot springs, glaciers, saline and ancient lakes, show similarities to the extreme surroundings of space and is of unique interest to researchers. And as researchers ponder over the possibility of life on Mars, a team of researchers will explore various aspects of astrobiology in a field workshop at the tough terrains of Ladakh. The field workshop planned during August 9th to 21st, 2016 is a part of the NASA Spaceward Bound program, being organized by the NASA Ames Research Center in collaboration with the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, Lucknow. The workshop was flagged off on 8th August at New Delhi by Secretary DST, Professor Ashutosh Sharma. NASA's Spaceward Bound program is an educational program which is being organized across different research centers across the world and aims to conduct astrobiological experiments by studying life forms in extreme environments across the globe.
NASA Spaceward Spacebound program पहली बार इंडिया में हो रहा है. ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट प्रोग्राम है. इसमें 6 देशों के साइंटिस्ट हमारे साथ सहयोग कर रहे हैं. ये सब साइंटिस्ट वहाँ जाकर करीब 10 दिन रहेंगे, गहन शोध करेंगे, अध्ययन करेंगे, उसके बाद सैंपल लेकर आएंगे जिनको यहाँ एनालाइज किया जाएगा. ये बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि बहुत देशों के साइंटिस्ट मिलकर साथ साथ कार्य करें इस महत्वपूर्ण दिशा में.
While such workshops has been previously conducted in various extreme terrains across the world like Mojave Desert and Idaho, USA, Namibia Desert, Antarctica, high Arctic regions, etc. The Ladakh workshop is the first expedition in India and will be attended by a select group of 32 scientists, educationists and research scholars from USA, UK, Australia, Sweden and Spain besides India. During a series of planned scientific experiments, the researchers will ascend up to 5,370 meters to collect the UV-resistant microbes at Pangla La Pass and Khurdang La.
Ladakh, I'm searching for biomarkers as proxy or evidence of past life or also present environments in unique different environments like glaciers and salty water in spring waters and a variety of environments, because I have two objectives. One is that of mapping these environments for seeing where the life is best distributed, but also, and in connection with that, is I'm testing instruments that are able to detect life and the limits of this instrument in detecting life.
The group will also sample Panamic, Chumatang and Puga Valley hot water springs for their geochemistry, extremophils and biomarkers, along with paleo lake sites at Khalsar and Sokar. Besides reaching out to various schools in the Leh-Ladakh region, the team divided into 5 groups will also test the rover technology designed for Martian terrain at the active cold desert dunes at Hundar. The study is expected to provide key insights into some of the most fundamental questions about survival of life in extreme conditions and aid future space missions.
India and Antarctica, two distant land masses separated by 12,935 kilometers of ocean waters. Will you believe if I tell you that once India was part of Antarctica? Well, unbelievable but true. A team of researchers have dug up new evidence from the Eastern Ghats which proves exactly this.
According to geologists, for hundreds of millions of years, all the land of Earth was joined together in one large mass, the supercontinent Pangaea. Then, about 200 million years ago, Pangaea began to drift apart, and tectonic forces broke the Pangaea into Laurasia in the north and Gondwana land in south. Gondwana land included what we know as Antarctica, joined to South America, Africa, India and Australia, each of which later became smaller independent continents due to continental drift. While this has been a commonly believed hypothesis, a group of geologists from India and Switzerland has dug up the first evidence to support this. The study, led by Professor Devashish Upadhyay of IIT Kharagpur, proves that Antarctica and India were once a single large continent that broke apart about 1.5 billion years ago. According to researchers, the study of rocks have provided important cues as to how Indian subcontinent and Antarctica separated and reunited several times due to tectonic movement of plates before the evolution of mankind.
We studied the geological evolution of rocks at the southern margin of the Indian landmass. That's the southern margin of the Singhbum Craton, and we found that these rocks preserve, the geological histories of these rocks preserve all the events which have been linked with the collision of India and East Antarctica during Rodinia assembly. So our results confirm the earlier hypothesis that India was indeed a part of the supercontinent Rodinia, and the Eastern Ghats mountain belt, which must have been a huge collisional mountain belt similar to what we have the Himalayas today. This was the mountain belt which was a link along which the two continental blocks, India and East Antarctica, were joined.
After the first separation, India and Antarctica then got separated by an ocean. The ocean was later closed with the movement of the land masses, and the two continents approached each other, resulting in a collision to form the Eastern Ghats mountain belt. The event corroding to the study was followed by a second round of separation and collision around 600 million years ago, which created another mountain range that is preserved in the Eastern Ghats all the way to southern India and Sri Lanka, and even Madagascar, which was once part of the Indian subcontinent. The research has been published in the international journal Elsevier.
Science for global and national good. That was the vision of the country's beloved scientist president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. As an year has passed by since the great mind left the nation in tears, the first Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture was organized in the national capital. The talk delivered by Dr. R. Chidambaram focused on the need of establishing an equilibrium between the industry and the academia to translate knowledge into products.
The world is rapidly evolving, and an aspiring nation cannot afford to stay behind in science and technology. With new knowledge constantly outdating the old, the focus has shifted largely from fundamental research to application-based research. In the Indian scenario, with a large, talented young pool of adequate funds, sound infrastructure and encouraging entrepreneurship can go a long way in fueling scientific progress. These ideas were stressed upon by Dr. R. Chidambaram, Principal Scientific Advisor and Chairman, Scientific Advisory Committee to the Cabinet, who recently delivered the first Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture in the capital. Citing the example of large industries working in collaboration with research industries for translation of technologies into products and the excellence of commercialization of Indian R&D, such as launch of 74 satellites from 20 countries by ISRO. Dr. R. Chidambaram urged the need for knowledge transfer from bigger setups into smaller industries for product development. He said that strong academia-industry interactions, international collaborations and high-quality leadership with sound e-science infrastructure are the need of the hour.
This is accessible. Of course, you need high-quality faculty, leaders, adequate funds, sound infrastructure, strong academia, industry interaction, concern for societal issues, make use best of the internal capabilities, appetite for risk-taking, both in academia and industry. If you are going to play safe, you are guaranteed to do second-rate work, whatever field you are in. But if you take risks and if you succeed, of course you go right up to the top. International collaboration. And if you want to attract and retain top-class people, you must have world-class research facility.
This is the era of big data and Internet of Things. Dr. Chidambaram drew attention to the current trends and said that big data analytics and high-tech startups in advanced manufacturing and machine tool sector are revolutionizing the world. Undoubtedly, open technologies such as the World Wide Web is propelling the country into a progressive future, and under these circumstances, it is imperative that India introduce novel technologies by synergizing internal capabilities and taking some risk. Overall, the talk stressed on the need of an equilibrium between the Indian industry and institutes on R&D activities. The Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture was organized by CII and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Foundation in memory of the country's beloved scientist Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who bid adieu to us on 27th July last year.
And now it is time to take a very short break. We'll be back with more science news. Keep watching Science Monitor.
approximately maybe 40% of the under 5 children are undernourished. The type of food that you take, and second thing is your physical activity also. That is something which has become a casualty in this modern day life. It is a question of moderation that needs to be adopted by the people to have a healthy lifestyle.
Watch Eureka with Dr. P. Uday Kumar, Senior Deputy Director, National Institute of Nutrition, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in our next segment, Science Express.
Triumphing the individual IQ scores of Einstein and Hawking, 10-year-old Indian boy Dhruv Talati from London has emerged as one of the most intelligent persons of the world. Dhruv Talati has achieved the maximum score of 162 on Mensa's intelligence test, which leaves behind the scores 160 of Einstein and Hawking. Dhruv is a student of Fullwood Primary School in Barkingside, London. With the interior regions lacking proper roads and social problems like Maoism, healthcare is a huge issue in certain parts of Chhattisgarh. But the innovative motorbike ambulances have proved to be a boon. The motorbike ambulances provided by an NGO called Sathi and UNICEF have been saving lives in the Maoist-hit Narayanpur district of Chhattisgarh. The motorbike ambulances ensures that villagers, especially pregnant women, reach primary health centers on time to receive appropriate medical aid. In a rare zoological discovery, the world's largest moth has been found in Tengchong in southwest China's Yunnan province. The moth, called Atticus atlas, has wingspan of almost 30 centimeters, with extremely bright patterns and a forewing that looks like a snake's head. The individuals of this particular moth species are known to be found in tropical and subtropical forests across Southeast Asia, southern China, Malay Archipelago, Thailand and Indonesia.
While you all sports enthusiasts glued to your television sets watching the 2016 Olympics at Rio de Janeiro are surely appreciating the fruits of technology there is more science to these sports than it meets the eye. With every physical movement governed by the natural physical laws, the winner is the one who intricately understands these laws and uses them to his or her benefit. In today's In Focus segment, we will explore the fascinating scientific principles that govern some of these thrilling games.
The largest sport convention of the world, the Olympics, has been flagged off for the year 2016. As the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, plays host to the Olympics this season. The Olympics, lasting from 5th to 21st August, will see the organization of 42 different kinds of interesting games in which players from over 200 countries of the world, including India, will participate. Yes, no matter what the game, whether football or hockey, judo or archery, all the games are based on some hidden scientific principles. We have quite often heard the term spin, related to games such as cricket, table tennis and pool. Spin, which refers to the revolving motion of a body. For example, a ball is a physical concept related to frictional force. Friction is the action resulting from the contact of two bodies or surfaces. Friction is defined as the resistance that one surface or object encounters when moving over another. While not apparently visible, these concepts govern the games and decide the direction of the game. A common example is the topspin strategy in table tennis. Topspin, in general, is a property of a ball that rotates forwards as it is moving. During a topspin, the ball is shot in a clockwise manner. The ball, on bouncing, spins from front to back, while friction works in the opposite direction. The ball, hence, gains momentum after a bounce. It is established that a player can spin a ball better using a Chinese grip. In scientific terms, this is known as torque. During a topspin, one observes the Magnus effect, in which the spinning ball curves away from its principal flight path. The ball propelled through the air imparts a downward force that causes the ball to drop due to its interaction with the air. As a result, as the ball moves forward, its spin increases while speed decreases. This creates an illusion of the ball moving out of the court while it drops suddenly and surprises the player. The same happens in cricket, where players taken aback by the spinning movement lose wickets. In case of car race, the friction experienced by the car wheels propels it forward. In fact, when the accelerator of the car is pressed, the wheels first spin in their place and then the car gains speed and moves forward. This happens because the spin of the wheel is at first more than the speed. The spin results in a frictional force with the ground that gives speed to the wheels to move forward. The car moves ahead when its speed is more than its spin. In case of car racing, friction provides the drivers the necessary grip over the wheels, prevents slipping, and plays a major role while applying brakes. If observed carefully, pool players generally target the upper and bottom part of the ball. The ball, when hit on its bottom part, spins in an anti-clockwise direction, as the friction on the table is in the opposite direction. This pulls the ball backward, as a result of which the ball hits the ball in front of it and pulls back. This shot is called backspin or draw. The opposite strategy is called topspin or a fallow, in which the player hits the ball on the upper part. The ball spins in the clockwise direction with an opposing friction. The ball is pushed forward and after hitting the ball in front of it, proceeds further forward. Any dynamic object is acted upon by two types of frictional forces. The bodies, which are in simple slipping motion, experience more friction, but a spinning object experiences a special kind of frictional force called the rolling friction, which is 100 times lesser compared to the normal frictional force. An enthralling game of tennis can be played on grounds made of grass, clay, or synthetic surface, and friction plays an important role. Clay courts have more friction and the speed of the ball decreases. Hence, on clay grounds, players are positioned more towards the baseline. The upper surface of the clay courts are granular and behaves like a ball bearing at the bottom of the shoes. But fibers of the ball gather the mud, thus increasing the friction and slowing it down. In order to handle the low speed, players often use topspin on clay grounds. During topspin, the ball spins from top to bottom, and on hitting the ground, the spin reverses, increasing the speed of the ball. Grass or synthetic courts have less friction, and hence the speed of the ball is more. As a result, the player who delivers more powerful serves often wins the game on these courts. Hence, it is clear that spin and friction are the key elements in most of these games, and a player who understands and controls these factors controls the game, emerging victorious.
Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us how do you like our program. You can send your feedback and suggestions. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar C24, Kutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is all for today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology again next week. Till then, stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV and think scientific all the time. Thanks for watching.